Imagine this. You've been trolling on PropertyGuru for weeks. You and your partner want a condo, but your parents said HDB is safer, and your friends have also got different answers. One side said
private property is the only way to build real wealth,
and the other said
HDB is like getting free money from the government. Why would you pay for the maintenance fees and property tax?
both sides were convinced they were right. Now, they're both right, and they're also wrong. Not because their facts are off, but because they were answering the wrong question. The HDB versus condo debate assumes that there's a universal winner, a single correct answer that applies to every Singaporean at every life stage, with every financial situation. And that assumption can cost people real money. HDB or condo. That locks you into a false binary. It forces you to pick a side before you've even figured out what side you're on. They are two completely different systems with different rules, economics, and purposes. HDB is heavily regulated pricing. The government controls the supply and caps the prices, hands out grants to keep it affordable. 80% of Singaporeans live in HDBs. That's by design. Condo is a privilege. The private market is market-driven and structurally undersupplied. 20% of Singaporeans live in private property, also by design. Comparing them head-to-head makes no sense. The question is, what do you need right now? I've seen someone drive a Bentley and live in a HDB. You've probably seen them too. Why would someone who can clearly afford a Bentley choose a HDB? Maybe the HDB is bigger for the same price. Maybe the location works better. Everyone's story is different. We've also seen people buy a condo they couldn't comfortably afford, then spend years stressed about maintenance fees, interest rates, and that nagging feeling that they overextended. Not because the condo was a bad property, but because they were at the wrong life stage for it. So here's how you should think about this. Your first property decision will not be your last property decision. Most people buy their first home like they'll never own another one. Then they try to get everything right in one shot. The perfect size, the perfect location, the perfect investment. The smarter approach is to think in stages. Your first property is a stepping stone. Buy subsidized, stack the gains, use that money for the next move. A first-timer in Singapore has two golden tickets. Option 1, buy a subsidized BTO directly from HDB, cheap entry, controlled pricing, and predictable timeline. Option 2, buy a resale HDB and get a grant from the government, up to $80,000 if you're married. So somewhere along the way, watching pattern after pattern play out, I've realized there is a better way to think about this. Instead of comparing two different properties, I started asking one question, and that one question made every decision clear. I call it life stage property matching. What stage of life are you in right now? Let me walk you through the 4 stages. By the end, you'll know exactly which one you're in. The bachelor or single. If you are single and you can afford either option, then the math is straightforward. Go for subsidized housing. Why? Because your income is probably still growing, your life is still changing, and you might meet someone, switch careers, or decide to move in 5 years. Overcommitting on a condo right now locks you into a financial structure that's hard to unwind. The BTO route gets you a cheap home and a forced savings plan rolled into one. The resale route with the singles grant gets you a home now with cash in your CPF. The one exception is you come from wealth or you are earning significantly above the median. In that case, a condo might make sense, but be honest with yourself about whether you are buying for lifestyle or for status, because they are not the same thing. And confusing the two can be expensive. Stage 2, married with no kids yet. This is the most flexible stage in your property life. 2 incomes, double the grant power and double the loan eligibility. You can go for a BTO or a resale or a condo. All 3 are genuinely on the table. Here's the move. Think 5 years ahead. If kids are on the horizon, factor in space, school proximity, and a room count that works for a family of 3 or 4. Don't buy a 2-room today and then realize in 3 years you need a 3rd room. Transaction costs alone will eat a chunk of your gains when you sell and upgrade. If kids are not in the plan at all, then your priorities shift. Location becomes the dominant factor. Walkability to restaurants, transport, your social circle. A home close to a central area will serve you better than a bigger HDB in a far-flung estate. Kids change the calculation completely. You now need 3 bedrooms minimum. You need reasonable proximity to schools. You need space for a family to actually live, not just 2 adults to sleep and work. HDB wins on space per dollar. A 5-room HDB gives you around 1,200 square feet for a fraction of what a comparable condo in the same area would cost. That is real breathing room for a family to grow. Condo wins on facilities and community, the pool, the playground, the gym. If your kids are young, Having these things downstairs as a quality of life upgrade, it's hard to put a price on. The right choice depends on what you are optimizing for. More square footage at a lower price? HDB. More lifestyle amenities and convenience? Condo. Buy for the stage that you are about to enter and not the stage you are leaving. The kids have moved out and suddenly you have too much space. You are sitting in a 4-bedroom flat with 2 rooms gathering dust. You are paying maintenance and property tax and utilities on square footage that you don't even use. The smart move is to downsize, unlock the equity, and put it towards your retirement. At this stage, the HDB versus condo choice is about lifestyle, not investment. Do you want lower monthly costs? A smaller HDB. Do you want facilities and security? A smaller condo. Do you want to be closer to healthcare and amenities? Location becomes the only metric that matters. Some older couples prefer a condo for the pool and the gym, and others prefer HDB for the lower costs and the kampong spirit in mature estates. Both are valid. The key is matching the property to how you actually want to live, not how you used to live. Once again, the real question that replaces the entire HDB versus condo debate is, what life stage am I in right now, and what am I optimizing for? That is the whole framework. The property type follows your stage of life, not the other way around. Stop asking which is better and start asking which fits. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know what stage you are in right now, or let me know your thoughts. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.